Hi, welcome to Women's Radio 2. I'm Pat Barrett, and today one of the people that we've introduced you to before is back with us. And actually, we're going to have one more wonderful opportunity to get his wisdom before a special program that he's going to be telling you about soon. So today, my guest is Joe Pici. Joe is an authority on speaking and presenting, et cetera, et cetera. And today he's going to be talking about learning those skill sets for coaches and mentors and speakers, et cetera. So it's a great day to be here. And it's a great also because we are recording this, you're going to be able to listen to it multiple numbers of times. But if you have questions for Joe, we're going to give you an email that you'll see as you begin to listen to this. And I urge you to email us and list your questions because Joe, as I said, is going to be back. And then he'll have a chance to contemplate all of your answers, and we'll talk about it the next time. So I'm very, very pleased to welcome back to Women's Radio 2, Joe Pici. Hi, Joe.
Well, thank you so much. It's great to be back. And I have
Well,
a couple questions for your audience.
okay, great, great. Maybe I should write them down too.
It would be great. Well, first of all, today our topic is how to make money with your talent and intellectual property.
Oh, great.
Okay. So many speakers, trainers, coaches, consultants are magnificently talented. They're incredibly creative, but not all of them know how to monetize their talent, their skills, and their intellectual property. And intellectual property is the monetary value you have between your ears. And so many people don't know how to protect it and don't know
Right,
how to take it to market.
exactly.
So the first question I have for your audience, Pat, is do you want to make money, whether it's full-time or part-time, as a speaker, as a trainer, as a coach, as a consultant, as an author? That's the first question you have to answer because without having that focal point, there's a lot of free speaking gigs that you can get all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's a lot of things you can attend that are geared to people that just have a passion for speaking, but they're really not looking to make money with it. I don't speak to those people. I mean, I don't not speak to those people, but that's not who I work with. Who we work with here at Peachy and Peachy are people that already have a message. They already know a topic. They already want an audience. They want to make money. And so I'm going to ask you some questions about what you have in your toolbox because there are some non-essentials you're going to need to run a profitable speaking business. The first question I want to ask you is, do you have a go-to-market strategy? In other words, do you have a strategy for how you're going to take your message to market? That's a good question, Joe. Well, let me ask you question number two. Do you have a structured business plan for your speaking, coaching, training business? Okay. At Peachy and Peachy, okay, in 2021, we had three different income streams off of our business in the way of speaking, coaching, and training. Well, as you know, COVID hit, and as you know, some of my hair is turning gray and some is turning loose, so I'm not as excited about the airplanes as I used to be, but I still travel. But I was looking for other ways that we could generate income with speaking, coaching, training, consulting. Today we have 10 ways we can deliver, but that all came from our business planning. So first question is, do you have a go-to-market strategy? Second question is, do you have a business plan in place? Question number three, do you have a complete administrative system, back end system for your office? In other words, is your office set up to run a speaking business, to run a training business? You know, my office is not built for aesthetic value. We call it the war room because it's my office, my wife's office is meant to be offices to run our business. So everything, files and whiteboards and all the things we need to run the back end. Believe it or not, we still have a fax machine because some of my clients prefer a fax machine. Okay. And so we have many different things. So you have to be diligent about setting up your office. And if you already have an administrative assistant, great. But when you're first getting started in the speaking business, you've got to be very careful how much money you throw at it. It can be a very high priced hobby. And so I recommend if you already have if you're doing this part time, which many people start at part time, we've been full time in the speaking business, golly, for 25 years at least. We went full time in 2002. So this is all we do for a living. We still don't have an administrative assistant, okay? It's just, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just saying you got to be careful what you throw your money at. Now, question number 4, all right? Do you have a clear cut, what I call a core story? So, in other words, if you're doing a webinar for no fee, if you're speaking in front of a chamber for no fee, if you're speaking in front of a leads group, if you're speaking for no fee with the desire to create an income from it, do you have that presentation polished? We call that the standing core story. You're going to need one of those. That's not the high pressure back of the room sales talk. It's a value placed talk with the idea that the audience, people in the audience may want to talk to you about speaking at their next event, okay? Or you having them into your event. Now, number 5, I think we're on number 5. Are we on number
That's
5,
right.
Pat?
Yeah, we're number 5.
Okay. Do you have a complete prospect lead generation program? Here at Peachy and Peachy, we generate leads 17 ways. How many ways do you generate leads? And so you're going to need that because eventually your warm market will dry up. Eventually, the low-hanging fruit goes away. And you're going to have to put your big boy pants on and you're going to have to be able to go out and find prospects that are going to hire you. Now we move into do you know how to put on profitable events? Now, many people put on free events with the hope that people in the audience may buy something from you. In our 3-day Business of Speaking Training Coaching Bootcamp, on day 2, we spend the entire afternoon teaching you how to put on your own events for premium prices and what we call it making gorilla money. Okay. And so we have a foolproof system that if you follow this system, you could put on your own event within 90 days and make quite a bit of money. We have people that leave that boot camp, put on their own event, and within 90 days, they put on an event and they make upwards to $50,000 or more. And so it's a system. It's not an emotion. It's an actual black and white system that if you color between the lines, you'll be able to do this. Well, do you have that? Are you putting on your own events? You know, when you speak for other people at their event or when you speak for a corporation, okay, you'll make some money. When you do your own events, you have an opportunity of making a lot of money. And so now we move down to the next one. Do you have the capability and have you produced your own marketing materials? Do you have the capability and have you created your own training materials? Okay, and so you're going to need materials. You're going to need some for marketing and you're going to need some for branding. And so we develop all our own all of our own materials. Okay. And so this is something you're going to have in place, or you're going to wind up paying other people to do it. And there goes your profit margin. Remember, if you're in the speaking, coaching, training, consulting business to make money, don't look at yourself as a speaker, coach, or trainer, consultant. Look at yourself as a business owner, and your product is speaking, coaching, training. So you're looking at your profit margin. Your profit margin is not what they pay you, it's what you keep. Okay, which is the next thing. Do you know how to price yourself? Many really fine speakers get themselves in trouble because they underprice themselves and they don't know how to regulate pricing. This is a very important aspect. So, what number are we up to?
Well, I'm not sure, 8 or 9.
8 or 9. So, let's get to the next one. We'll say it's either 8 or 9 or 10. How about your branding strategy? So many people, as soon as they decide they want to go into speaking, they want to go see a branding coach. We did not brand ourselves for the first 3 years. And I'm not telling you you should do that, but I'm telling you that we needed to know who we were in the marketplace. Okay. We needed to know how our clients viewed us. And then we were able to brand ourselves. And branding is very important. Okay. And many people will speak under someone else's brand. There's nothing wrong with that. The only problem is you're building their business, not yours. Okay. So as I'm looking down here, I don't want to leave anything out. I want to talk to you about running a successful business. What is your business acumen? You know, when Dawn and I first got started in business, we didn't have a deep business acumen, so we made some mistakes. You can make a lot of mistakes if you don't learn business acumen. I recommend strongly, if you're going to look for a coach, find one that's smarter than you when it comes to business. Okay? Find one that's living. I'm not talking about affluently. I'm talking about living their message. If you're going to learn from a speaker, coach, trainer, consultant, learn from ones that really know the back end of the business. I mean, presentation coaching, you can do that all day long. You can go to Toastmasters, which is a magnificent organization, and they'll polish your presentation up for you for $5 and $100 a year, for the meetings. But I'm talking to you about the business side of this. And then we move down. What do you know about podcasting? What do you know about membership sites? What do you know about, online courses? All of those type of things that are very important, that are part and parcel to your business. And then something we opened up as another vertical, you may want to look into how do you build a fractional business. I have a fractional sales training business as part of my consultant. Whereas I can go into a company on a contract basis, act as a fractional sales manager. I can get 3 or 4 clients a month doing that. So there's fractional marketing, there's fractional CEO, fractional COO, there's fractional anything anymore. So these are some of the things you're going to know and want to know. These are all things we cover in our Business of Speaking, Training, Coaching Bootcamp, which is October 30, 31, and November 1. I've got 4 seats left. And if you call me at 407-947-2590 and say, Pat sent me, I'll give you $500 off. So, Pat, I'm going to open this up to you for any questions.
Well, there's a lot, and I made a lot of notes, and I bet you everyone else did too, who was able to participate in here. Because people, I'm sure, come to you at all stages of the different things that you spoke of, and some are better in some areas than others. But what do you think if someone's getting started and they really have not done this before, where would you advise them? And I think your advice about finding someone who's in business is truly excellent. Um, Business is a tricky, funny thing, and it, you really need to find a smart person and a good coach, such as you. But what other qualities or what other disciplines do you advise people to really check into?
I think what they have to decide on, number one, do they want to start full time or part time? And that has to do with what is their financial background in it. In other words, are they a corporate person that has some money in the bank and they want to launch out full time? Or are they a corporate person that wants to start part-time? Are they a non-corporate person? I think everybody has to assess where they are and decide, do I want to start this out full-time or part-time? But Pat, I have to tell you, it doesn't matter if you do this full-time or part-time, you have to know the same thing.
Well, that's
You
true,
have to
but
know all the things I just discussed.
when you were talking about collateral and things like that, most people are not gifted as artists or as um, people who understand printing and if they need handouts or et cetera, et cetera. So those are like peripheral things. And so people, from my point of view, tend to go out and get these one-off kinds of people. And sometimes that doesn't come together very well. So how do you
Right.
advise people to look at media marketing, which is something I'm, of course, very interested
Well,
in?
marketing is so important, but I think what they have to do before they go into marketing or before they talk to a marketing expert, they need to know what do they want to talk about, who would they like to talk to, and how would they like to deliver it? Do they
Well,
want to deliver it as a keynote, as a trainer, in a consultation? So those are some of the things when we work with people, we're getting all these things out on the table. And so when they walk out of our training, they have their business. They can start making money right now. But each year it's going to evolve. They'll continually evolve their business. Nobody starts out at the top of the mountain. Now, I know we're very short for time. So can I give out some contact information?
yes, but I have a couple of thoughts I want to drag in front of
Well,
you
yeah,
before
I'll
we do
turn it
that.
right back over to you.
No,
It's your
no.
show.
But I was from that answer, um, I just wonder how people need to think in order to plot their course. Like if you come to a 3-day workshop, how much how much information, for instance, do you need about your customers? You may think you know who you want, and have you researched that? How do you get that information? How do you know that you're talking to the right people, et cetera, et cetera? And then once you have discovered that through trial and error, however you manage that, then you need to learn how to increase it, how to get more of those people, et cetera, et cetera. And what I'm learning is you don't necessarily have to pay people to do your social media for you, to learn some of things you need to do online. Actually, it's getting a little easier to do that. But you absolutely, no matter what you do, you have to know who your audience is. You have to know the people you want to actually talk to relate to those people and know the stories that will turn those people on, et cetera. Do you agree with that?
I agree 100%. And that's probably 3 hours of our boot camp is about that right there. Because we
Uh,
have people that come and they're like, everything they know, we ask them to wipe the slate clean and we want to start at the foundation. And when we get into what is it that you want to talk about, who do you want to talk to, and who are you going to be talking to get that thing? In other words, your audience, let's say you're going after a keynote. Well, you're not being hired by the audience. You're being hired by an event planner. So you better know how to talk to them. So
that's
all these things we cover as far as from the business standpoint. So in our 3-day boot camp, only 11% of our boot camp is actually how you present. The rest is all of the things I just talked about.
Right. And they are so very important. And I think it's so helpful to get all of this information in one package at one time and
Right.
to really just focus your attention and bring writing material and get as
Well,
much as
they
you can
here's
get.
here's the manual that we have for the speaker boot camp. Okay.
Wow.
It is 132 pages. They take this home and we give them a list of 26 action items that they need to complete. When they hit number three, they're making money.
Oh, wow. That's really nice to hear, isn't it? I
Okay.
bet it
Because,
surprises them too, huh?
well, because Dawn and I had to make money with this business. This was never a hobby to us. We love what we do, but it was never a hobby. And so it had to be a profit center. And
Right,
so we look at it that way.
right. I think that point of view helps you make the right kind of choices.
There's a lot of mistakes you can make in this thing, okay?
Yes.
Because there's so many people out there. The day that you decide you want to be a speaker, every branding coach, every website developer, every social media expert is going to come at you and tell you you need all this. Okay. Our first year in the business, we didn't have laptops, we didn't have material,
Wow.
we didn't have anything, and we made six figures. But we
Oh,
but we did know this. We knew what we were going to train that the client could measure, how we wanted to do it, and who we wanted to do it for.
I think the thing you said and what we wanted to measure, and I think that uh, people that are creative who like to speak or draw or whatever sometimes forget that it is about um, setting your structure up so that you can accomplish things and be rewarded for that and set that up appropriately. And you mentioned about the expenses that you incur when you do things, and you have to be careful about that in the beginning as well.
Right, right.
Well, tell us about the dates and so forth. Let's go ahead and
Okay, well, we have two boot camps. Of course, we have our sales boot camp that I spoke of last time. That's uh, October 27, 28, 29. It's in Orlando, Florida. Okay. We have four seats left in that one. And then we have our Business of Speaking, Training, Coaching, and Consulting on October 30, 31, November 1, also in Orlando. We have three seats left there. And anybody that would like information, I do not hard close anyone, but I will give you information. All you have to do is call me at 407 947 2590. You can visit our website, PICIANDPICI.com. Look me up on LinkedIn, Joe Pici. Okay. And if you want a free webinar, I have a free webinar for you. All right. All you have to do is take out your cell phone and in the message box for texting, write the word, one word, sales edge, and text it to 59925. That's 59925. It'll take you to a Peachy link. Hit the link. It'll take you to a splash page. Put in your email. You will get a free webinar on the 8 essentials of business success.
oh, that's great. Well, it sounds you've been doing this for such a long time. You should have it down, but it sounds like you've covered every major area that these people are going to encounter when they step out. And like you said, maybe they come with some of this information or expertise already,
Mhm.
but
Right.
when you decide to go out and speak and earn your living that way, it is different than just doing it for fun. Or
It's a big difference.
and there are a lot of people, myself included, who've been asked to speak because I worked with organizations and we helped sponsor a lot of the events and that have happened all over the US. But when you actually have to create a talk and deliver it to a specific audience and you have to talk to the people who hire the speakers and negotiate your rates and so forth and so on. It is a completely different picture.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thank you, Joe. It's always really, really enlightening. I think you're able to give a lot of information in a short period of time. And like I said, I'm over here writing like crazy. I want to make sure I get it all down. So I'm sure that this has been true for the people who are listening. And in this way, they can listen to it as many times as they want as well. That's a big
Good,
help. So
good.
thank
Well,
you for being my
thank you.
guest. Thank you for the great
Okay.
work you're doing. And we will see you again soon.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.